Alrighty, why don't you go ahead and start the open chatter, and we've got 5 minutes. Sorry for being a little late, folks, for the pre-show. You know, work, life, traffic, all those good things. Nothing but a party.
Traffic was today. Hey everybody, welcome to the BA Zones Live pre-show where we love to complain and then we get very happy during the show.
Yeah, fortunately that does raise our spirits. That adrenaline kicks in and everything gets much better.
Oh my goodness.
Let's just say that it's only it's Tuesday, but it actually feels a lot like a Monday.
It does, doesn't it?
You know, somebody didn't tell Tuesday that it wasn't Monday. It didn't get the memo.
Welcome everybody. Tonight we're going to be talking about what makes a great BA. And don't listen to this part, because this part wouldn't be it. Although, we learn to adapt.
Well, see, that's just it. It's not a party every day, and you muddle through, and that's part of it. So that's a sneak peek already.
We're going to be going live with the show in about 4 minutes, so grab yourself a cup of tea or water, a cup of coffee, a beverage of any kind of your choice. If you're having a day like Kathleen, make it a dry martini. Actually, you like more of those rum drinks. What is that rum drink you like with the beer, the ginger beer?
Oh, that's the Dark and Stormy. That's from Bermuda.
Oh, the Dark and Stormy. The islands call her periodically.
Yeah, although lately it's been a lot of whiskey. Just cut right to the chase.
Cut right to it.
Well, you know, you gotta go with what works.
Whatever works for you. A little wine this time of night. Tea is good too. Good cup of tea.
Well, if it's Long Island iced tea, then yeah. Sign me up.
I'm trying to
it's a summer drink. It counts, right?
Sure.
Great. You know what? I gotta shut us down. We'll be back, folks. Come on, sevens. All right, folks. Well, those of you who were here and now are back again, thank you and welcome. Little technical glitch, but I think we're okay now. Time will prove me wrong or right. We'll see, right?
Technology has stuttered.
Yeah, well, you know, that's the way it goes. It's having a day, too. So, thank you so much for showing up. We have 2 minutes before we're going to start the show, so you've got time to go grab a beverage of your favorite type. Bring a friend, bring a coworker, whatever works for you. We're all kinds of flexible here. And I apologize if you can hear the dog. Somebody is out there making noise, and he feels the need to join the party. It's his job.
I actually thought the door was open.
No, the door is closed. He is definitely having his say there.
Yeah, okay. Tinker jumped on top of the couch and fell off the top of the couch.
Oh no, is he okay?
Yeah, he's been licking his side a little, but I'm hoping he's okay.
Oh, poor baby. What made him do that?
Well, you know, he can't see, so he still thinks he can jump up there. And it was okay, and then all of a sudden, I heard the pictures on the table go in, and he was flying. I was like, oh, Lord. Can't stop him. It's innate. He just wants to jump up there like he's always done, but he just...
Well, sure, that's his routine, and he forgets he can't see.
Can't see it anymore.
So... Oh, hi, Amy! You're not napping tonight, Amy. You're throwing me off. Yeah, I'm switching things up a little. This is really a bonus episode because May's got an extra week, so I figured I'd change it up a little bit.
Where you been, Amy? On vacation?
No, since we changed the time, it kind of messed up her schedule. But she has soldiered through to join us tonight for the bonus episodes, eh? People are coming out of the woodwork. Oh, she's going to go take her nap after this. Okay, well, we'll try not to get you too excited.
And it looks like we're ready to go. Kathleen, are you ready to go? It's 8 o'clock.
Oh, sure. You know, adrenaline, it makes all the difference.
Yep, up in places.
Oh, great. Your audio's dropping. Try not to move too much. Okay. So, hello, and welcome everybody out there. My name is Kathleen Sinnott, and my co-host is...
Marianne Morrison.
And you are here for the BA Zone Live, the bonus episode. because May's got an extra week, we're throwing a bonus in. Actually, we just do the show every Tuesday night, but we decided to call it a bonus because why not, right? We're heading into summer. It's time to think about good things, and bonuses count in my book. So we hope everybody's doing good tonight. We are going to have a gab fest tonight. We are going to talk about what, in our opinion, and I'm sure we're not going to agree on everything, but what in our opinions makes someone a good BA. So this is not so much just about the skills, which we have talked about ad nauseum, but this is about what kind of people make good BAs, what personality traits, that type of thing. So please join us. We're on Periscope, Facebook, and YouTube. If you have a friend, neighbor, coworker, boss who you think would enjoy this, please, please, please invite them. The more the merrier. All right, so you ready, Mayor?
I am all set and ready to go.
All right, let's see here.
Are you leading? You're leading the charge tonight. I have my list ready to go.
Okay. Oh, good. You got a list. That's good.
I do have a list today.
That's a good thing. I just want to bring up, I didn't bother with slides for this because we're just going to chat, but I do want to bring up all of our little contact things. So let me do that real quick. All right. Okay, so for anybody out there, well, that's not the one I wanted, go back. Anybody out there who has not been here before, we are the BA Zone. We are here to help you. We are here to help our fellow business analysts and really anybody who has to work in the business realm. And if you ever have any questions, comments, any ideas for shows that you might want us to do, you can reach out to us in all the usual places. So we have our website, thebazone.com. If you look around there, there's a comment form. We're also on Twitter, we're on Instagram, we're on Periscope, Facebook, and YouTube. So wherever you want to reach out to us, you'll be able to find us, and you can let us know what it is that you need help with, you have interest in, or whatever you just feel like chatting about. Or if you just want to tell us how wonderful we are and how helpful we are, that's good too. We like the hearts, we like the thank yous, it's all good stuff. All right, so let me get us back to our view here. My shortcuts are not all going to work tonight because last minute I decided I didn't have enough stress, so I worked up a new presentation. So now Mare is on that side.
I know. I'm so confused. It's like being bi-coastal. I'm bi-what? I'm bi-screenal, something like that.
Bi-screenal. I like that. That works.
A little confused.
Let's see. Oh, so Amy says that her first lead magnet was a list of personality traits that were a good fit for litigation support. So those of you who haven't been around before, Amy works in litigation support, but she has a lot of overlap with our world, so we kind of swap ideas back and forth on a regular basis. All right, so whether you're a BA or you just want to play one on TV, we are here to talk about what we have found in our experience makes somebody a good candidate to be a BA, even if they aren't one already. We've seen a lot of people asking questions and talking about maybe transitioning into becoming a BA, so we thought this would be a good bonus topic for the month. So, you want me to start off with mine and then we can kind of go from there? Does that work?
Sure. I just want to preface that with this list is not a necessity to be a BA. It's just really helpful if you want to be a BA, great BA. There are certain personality traits that sort of, as Kathleen was saying, sort of lean you more towards a business analyst. You can certainly be a business analyst, but these things would make you a great one. So carry on, dear, with your first little tick.
Basically, yeah, the catalyst for this was all of the people lately that I have been running into who have been asking, how do I become a BA? And that's usually followed by the question of what certification should I get or what tool do I have to learn? And I always point out to them that that's not really what's the most important thing. The certifications, we both, I think, are in agreement that, it's a fine thing to have after you've got some experience, but getting one without experience just means you paid somebody for it. Doesn't really mean you can do the job. And the other thing is, being a BA is not really about the tools. Yes, you have to know how to use your tools. You need to be good at them. But really, it's about the number one thing on my list, which is being able to think outside of the box, especially when it comes to problem solving. So this is one of many things that we're going to run through tonight that kind of separate out the difference of, okay, yes, I know how to use this tool versus, yes, I know how to think and ask questions and do the research, because that is really the important part of being a BA. So for me, the number one thing I look for when I'm talking to somebody who's thinking about becoming a BA, or in the situations where I've been a part of the group doing the hiring, is somebody who proves that they can think and they can talk and they can problem solve. Because all of those are key elements of being able to do the job. The big part of what we do is solving problems, not only the problem that the project is trying to solve, but the myriad number of problems that come up, or challenges. We'll use the word challenges. It's a euphemism. Problems that come up while you're working on a project, whether it's interdepartment fighting or somebody who's trying to, change things to fit their own agenda or whatever. Being able to solve problems is number one on my list. I'll let Mara jump in. She can agree or disagree. I'm sure we'll disagree on some of these.
Well, no, I think, being solving problems is a number one, and sort of, if you could draw a parallel to the problem solving, is being a logical thinker, being able to think through things. That's part of the problem solving part, and you really do have to think. You have to be able to think, a logical thinker, and think in sort of a structured and an unstructured sort of way. So both of those, that type of, being able to sit down and think something through is very important. If you think a BA is just sitting there and taking notes from someone, that's not what a business analyst is. That's more of like, somebody taking technical notes or something. So yeah, I agree. I agree with the problem solving, and right along the dotted line would be logical thinking for me.
Yes, yeah. To me, those two go hand in hand. If you are a logical thinker, if you are very good at solving problems, and like I said, this doesn't necessarily mean that you have to already be a BA. If these are just things that you excel at, or other people tell you excel at, and you're thinking about joining us on the BA side, and please do, because we need more good logical thinking problem solvers, that would be a really good sign that you would be able to do this job and even enjoy it. Because there's a lot of people who will maybe start, going down the road of being a BA, only to find out that they hate it. So that's a part of why we're having this conversation, to try to avoid that, because you spend so much time at your job, you really shouldn't hate it that much. Okay, your turn.
It's kind of like thinking you want to be an accountant until you become an accountant.
Right.
And if you're, the second thing that I would say is to have somebody who is a people person. You can certainly, if you're not a people person, or if you are a people person, you may not want to get into accounting, because that's sort of just looking at numbers all day long. But if you're a people person, you like to talk to people, you like to help people. Those are qualities that translate very well to a business analyst. Being that sort of, a little optimistic, friendly, outgoing type. You don't have to be necessarily outgoing, but it definitely helps to be a people person, because you're dealing with people all day long, and it's all different types of people, it's all different types of culture, it's all different types of roles within a company, and how you adjust to that. So yeah, I would say being a people person. If you're a people person, business analyst is a great outlet to meet a lot of people, talk to a lot of people.
Now, that said, that doesn't mean that my fellow introverts out there won't necessarily be good at it. Yes, you have to interact with people, a lot. You need to be able to interview questions, but it's not so much, group situations, which is what we tend to find draining. But it's a lot of, one-on-one or small groups kind of thing. So if you're an introvert, don't let the idea of the whole, people person thing throw you off, because we can be people. We just do it in a different way than the extroverts. So please don't let that hold you back. I've known some really far down the scale introverts who have been very, very good at this job.
Mm-hmm. And you're absolutely right, and it depends on what you're doing. When we used to run business analyst groups, we'd have a group of business analysts working on projects. If you're an introvert, there are certainly certain things that you can do as a business analyst that you don't necessarily have to deal with people. You could be doing the research on the back end side. You can be doing the documentation, and little by little, we can draw you out to become a little more of an extrovert. And that's a win-win for everybody, especially if you have other skill sets. So you're absolutely right.
No.
Just helps if you
don't have to become an extrovert. Introverts need to be true to themselves, but we can still do this job. Like I said, it's not about wild parties. It's not all the stuff that's draining for the introvert. It's it's one-on-ones, it's small groups, so it's okay. And the level of focus that we introverts bring to things is also a benefit to this, which is also on my list. You have to be able, and even more important, maybe enjoy getting down into the weeds, getting into those fine details, seeing all the little pieces. I know that I've seen people who have tried to become BAs who are driven mad by the idea of having to deal with all the minutia. But if you are able to deal with it and even enjoy finding all those little pieces and putting them all together and seeing the patterns in all those little bits, again, that makes you a really strong candidate to become a BA, because while a lot of what we do starts at the very high level, we also have to go all the way down to the other end, which for me is what makes this interesting, because you get to see it at every different level and you get to see it from all the different points of view. So that is one of the perks from my standpoint. So if you are the type of person that is very detail oriented, can hold a lot of differing opinions in your head at once without your head exploding, another excellent sign that you could do really well in this position. Yes, position. Hey, I got the right word there.
Yeah.
Alrighty, you're up.
I'm up. Another one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I would say also a very big one is to have empathy, be very empathetic towards people. So, you've got to be able to put yourself in their position, walk a mile in their shoes, the old standby. And you sort of, when you're being empathetic, you sort of have to, you're obviously being a very good listener. You're not talking as much. And you're also, when you're trying to solve a problem, you're blending that empathy, their needs, the user's needs, with the overall business needs. So being empathetic will get you a lot farther than, slamming people down and trying to ask them a ton of questions. Try to work on the system the way they would and try to see it from their perspective. And that helps you bring your own perspective to things. But you really need to be able to, to be able to be empathetic with people, to have empathy. That's a huge one in my book. I don't know how you feel about that, Kathleen.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And you need to be empathetic not just with the people on your team and the people, the subject matter experts and the business people and all that, but you have to be able to be empathetic with people who you may never meet, the people who are going to maybe be using the solution that you're putting together, that you may never have the luxury of getting to know, in person. And for some people, again, that's a bit of a reach. But if you are able to sympathize for somebody who gets frustrated because the tool that they've been given doesn't really meet their needs, or they're frustrated because they can't figure it out, and it's part of your job on one project maybe to fix that, if you can be empathetic with those people, that's a huge win for you and for them, because by being empathetic with them, even without having met them, you're just going to take that extra step to make sure that the solution that you're putting together is not just making the business happy, but will also make them happy. So absolutely, that's a very important one. All right, so I guess I'm next. Ding, ding, ding. So far we haven't really argued. I'm sure we'll find one.
No, it's almost like Family Feud. It's like, what are the top 10, answers on the board here kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely. Another one for me, when I'm looking at people, is I find that I tend to look for people who are self-motivated. If you are the type of person who needs somebody standing over you, beating you with a stick in order to get you to do your job, this is not the job for you. You need to be the one pushing yourself all the time, because other people are not necessarily going to know what you should be doing. Most people make assumptions about what we do, or they have a perception. Really? The phone now? Hang on,
somebody's calling in. Caller.
Yeah, I wish. That would be great.
There's a caller coming in.
Okay. Hopefully that's going to shut it up. No? You really? Okay. Fine.
Unplug it.
That's a good idea. You know what? That's exactly what I'm going to do. I have it on mute, so I'm not really sure why it's ringing. There we go. Sorry about that, folks.
You were saying self-managed?
I was saying, yes, self-motivated. There are the people that you work with are going to have perceptions and ideas about what it is that you do, but if you are relying on them to tell you your job, you are not meant for this job. We need to be able to drive ourselves. We need to know what needs to happen in the project, and we need to not be relying on other people to tell us that, because that's not what we're here for. Sorry, I missed a couple of comments from Amy. So Amy agrees that you gotta like people, and she says that empathy goes a long way to get buy-in, and that's true across the board. So it'll be interesting to see if she agrees with the self-motivation part, or if she thinks that taskmaster is a good way to go. But personally, I think if you are self-motivated, that's another good sign that this could be a great career for you.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. Self-motivated, self-reliant, being able to don't wait for the answers, go out there and try to find answers. Even if it's not an interview, if you have to go dig around into some details, just take care of it. Just go and do it. Definitely don't wait around for somebody to give you the information. But if you're that kind of person who can just go out there and figure out what's going on, that's exactly what we're talking about. Another one that I think is big for a business analyst is to be adaptable. We have to adapt on the fly a lot of times to a lot of different things coming at us. A lot of times we're working on multiple projects at the same time, and you may have things that you have to deal with that you don't want to deal with in the way of conflict management, things like that. But you definitely have to be able to adapt. You have to be able to adapt to different audiences, to different problems that occur. It's a big thing. Change is coming. Change happens a lot in business in general. So being able to adjust to change, sort of letting it be a duck, let it roll off your back type of thing, which Kathleen has a little. I don't know that you have trouble with that, but you're not as big as letting things go as I am. But you definitely have to be adaptable.
The bar for what I'm willing to let go is different than yours is, definitely.
Yes, it is. It is. Yeah, I have a higher bar for that, but everybody's different, and that's fine. It's not a big deal. But that's definitely being able to adjust to change and letting things go, letting your ego type of go with it, is a great trait to have. So if you feel like you can, fit into different types of situations and adjust yourself, that's a great trait to have for a business analyst.
And that's adjust yourself mentally, not physically. Although if you need to do that too. We're not watching, so go ahead.
Folks. It's after 9 o'clock. No, it's not after 9 o'clock. Oh, dear God.
It's after 8 o'clock. We're okay.
We're in prime time.
Yeah, so Amy says she likes to say that it's someone who takes initiative, and that's absolutely, I think, what we're talking about here. If you are able to take initiative, if you are not willing, if you're not the type of person to just sit back passively and hope that their answer comes along, you too might be a BA. I'm realizing this is sounding like that comedian's thing. Is it Jeff somebody? Jeff Foxworthy?
Yeah.
That's it.
Foxworthy. It might be a redneck if. It might be a business analyst if. So I think you're up for the next one. You got
okay. Oh, I do. Organized. If you are an organized person, and she might laugh at me because she has seen my house, but you see.
Well, I will say though, being organized does not mean you have to be neat. People see organization in different ways. So go ahead. I'm sorry I interrupted.
So sometimes people, come into my environment and say, "Oh my God, what a mess!" But they don't understand is I know where everything is, and I can get to it in seconds. More than that, I love organizing other people's stuff. I love organizing information and problems, and that's a big part of what we do, because while you start off needing to collect all of this information, whether it's identifying the problems or the solutions or potential solutions, the players involved, you end up with a ton of data in front of you. And if you can't put some organization around that chaos and start to see the patterns and pull those patterns out and present them in a way that your other team members then can understand and work with them, then you're not good for this job. But if you are able to do that kind of thing, if you are able to, look at a big pile of data and start to tease out those patterns and then build off of those, that is a big part of what we do. And that is a huge thing that a lot of teams don't have somebody that can do that. A lot of teams have tons of people who can work with it once that's been done, but they don't have people who can do that first. And without it, sometimes the whole project will stall. So I think that's a critical piece of a BA's repertoire. Ooh, there's a $5 word.
I'm just thinking, I'm sitting here thinking to myself, my sister could probably be the perfect business analyst because, she's like overly neat and organized. I was over there the other day and she's got her jewelry, like her costume jewelry, in little zip bags where the earrings match, the bracelet match, the necklace type of thing. Everything
Grab
is
and go.
labeled in her house. Everything. I go over there and she goes, oh, you mean you're dusting the museum? Because there's nothing ever out of place. There's nothing ever done.
That
So
was really loud.
she would fit into that.
Okay, but the question is, okay, so she's really organized and all that, but does that process frustrate her, or does she find that satisfying? Because to me, that's the difference.
She finds it satisfying.
Okay,
I think it just irritates the heck out of me, but it's just sort of makes me twitch a little. That's a little too organized for me, but trust me, if you're organized in any way, even though it doesn't look like you're organized, if you can find your stuff, you fall in the organized category, and you too can be a BA. So that was your organized, right? Okay, I have another one. Being diplomatic. Being diplomatic. Look, I mean, you may have a thought in the back of your head, but that doesn't mean it should connect to your mouth at any point in time.
Or your face.
So there is a time, or your face, or your hands, or anything else like that. But I mean, you really have to pay attention to that level of being diplomatic, especially when you're talking about conflict resolution. And everything, you have to just kind of go with the flow, and a lot of times until you don't have to. There comes a point where, if you're being abused in any type of way, then diplomacy goes right out the window. But most of the time you have to behave in a professional manner and be diplomatic in your approach. And sort of part of that diplomacy is also sort of persuasion, but we can talk about that. That's another one, being able to persuade or negotiate. But being diplomatic is definitely, so if you're diplomatic, or you want to be, then you too would, work out well. I mean, there's plenty of instances where we've had to be diplomatic, especially when it comes to customers. When you're dealing with clients and customers, there's a level of diplomacy. I mean, you just have to bite your tongue till it bleeds, type of thing. So, anything else on diplomacy, Kat?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's absolutely true. I mean, you can't go steamrolling, across everybody, every minute of the day. My one caveat to that is that being a diplomat doesn't mean being a doormat, which is, you kind of alluded to. You do have to know when you have to stand up for yourself and for the project. But you just want to be very sure that you have exhausted all other avenues before you get to the putting your foot down stage. But eventually you probably will have to do that. Amy says, diplomacy is finesse and tone. I use humor wherever possible. And I think we both fall into the using humor category a lot.
You can get away with a lot of things if you just sort of wrap it in a humorous type of thing, and we've been doing that for years. Absolutely. People take it a little differently. Don't take yourself so seriously type of thing, that type of humor. And that works well in being diplomatic. You're absolutely right, Amy. And
I'm thinking that maybe Amy is your sister and you haven't told me this, because she says that Ziploc bags are the best tools for organization at home. Is there a secret you guys want to tell me?
Oh, God. That, and you have to have a label maker and Ziploc bags, and you're all set.
There you go.
Can you believe it? I said to my sister the other day, I said, where's this? And she said, it's downstairs in the little pull-out drawer labeled blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, holy mackerel. Holy mackerel. But it works for some people.
Definitely. Yeah, no, I mean, that's the thing. If it works, then that's half the battle. Okay, so I'm just going to take a quick break here for a second to say hello to Jason, who has joined us, and also Tonk, who has joined us over on Periscope. Thanks so much for coming by. And I should probably, if I can get it back up here,
if you have any comments, feel free. We're just shooting the breeze here.
That's exactly where I'm heading. So for those of you who maybe are new or have forgotten or have never felt inspired before to reach out, but maybe this conversation is sparking something, you can find us in all the usual places. So we have our website, thebazone.com, and there's a comment form there if you want to reach out that way. Our email address is also posted there. And if you prefer, we are on Twitter, we are on Instagram, Periscope, Facebook, and YouTube. So if you have a question, a comment, if you want to tell us you agree with us or you think everything we say is hooey, if you have a topic you want us to cover, please reach out and let us know. We are here for you guys, and we are more than happy to respond to whatever information you send us. And you can rest assured that unlike certain other agencies out there, we will keep your information private. You don't have to worry about that.
I just find it entertaining that you use the word hooey.
Hooey? You like that one? I'm pulling out all the good ones tonight.
Wow. God, I feel like I need a facelift when you say hooey. Oh my goodness. Alrighty. Did we did you do the last one?
Oh, let's see, I did organized. I've already lost track. If you're a great communicator, did we say communicator?
Yes, we probably alluded to it in a bunch of.
Did
we talk about it?
We alluded to it. No, we alluded to it, so you should go ahead with that one.
Okay, so I'm going to allude further, a little deeper. Being able to communicate, being able to verbally write things down and be able to read something and get the concept, or to be able to listen to someone and understand the concept and communicate that back maybe to developers or QA, or even back to the audience that you're getting the information from. Yeah. Being able to use things to visualize it, the best way to communicate in a lot of instances. Kathleen and I both agree, and Kathleen uses this a lot. And I used to say, do that. And it was visual. Visualize stuff. I just give her little boxes and say, can you make it look like that? And she'd go, oh, make it look like that. And then we communicate back to the audience. So any kind of visual aids. You could use even stick figures. You don't have to be really creative here. But, boxes, flow diagrams, anything that gets your point across. Being able to do that level of communication and being that people understand you. If you can do that, at a really decent level, that's a great BA. It's more of a skill. It's sort of a mix of a soft skill and an actual, skill set in your toolbox. But being a good communicator is one of my top ones too.
Yeah, and that is one of the ones. Some of these you could argue whether or not they can or cannot be learned. But this is what I think. If you don't have it, you can learn it. But if you just have this innate ability, then hey, you should put it to work and come join us because we need more good BAs. So that's definitely key, and you have to know, you have to be able to identify: is this person somebody who learns visually better, or is this somebody who needs me to talk them through it, or is this somebody who needs like a working example, or somebody needs it written down, or maybe a combination of all these. So knowing how to communicate in all those different media and knowing when to use them is key to a lot of the problems that come up. And problems do come up. Let's see if I can get this to come across here. No, let's see. Let me try one more time. Nope, okay. Well, it figures. Let me try one more. Can I
Toys aren't working today, folks.
There we go. I got it. See? You doubted me. And then it worked.
She's got a label maker.
I just needed a little bit of doubt, and then it all worked for me. Yeah, so Amy does. So Amy's still sharing her organization tips, and so she does have a label maker, and she also uses masking tape and a black marker.
I'm going to send her a Q-tip, and we're going to swab the inside of her cheek just to find out if we're related in any way. You might be in the family somehow. I'm not sure, but
I'm starting to think that there's a little more crossover here.
There's a crossover there.
We need to do a 23andMe or something.
Good grief.
Let's see. Yeah, I mean that's okay. It's a little funny that these are coming up from her. It's like, oh my goodness. So she also says that her favorite team members are the ones who start to finish her sentences, aka read my mind, and that's something Marianne and I've been doing to each other for years, and it kind of freaks people out.
It is a great when you can find somebody that your talents sort of play off each other. It's fantastic. It works very well. Especially if you're working on projects or, being a lawyer, I'm sure it's a good tag team thing too. Good lawyer, bad lawyer, is that a thing? Probably.
Let's see here. I mean, I think it's both. And I'm just going to let this one speak for itself because I'm convinced that you people have been holding out on me.
Sarcastic sense of humor. I hide it a little well. I have a
For you
wacky sense
folks,
of humor.
she's always pinning that one on me, but she does have it. You've got her. So for you
just
folks
a
who can't
little
read
bit.
it, it might be too
Just a
small.
little bit.
It's Amy
You know,
saying
but
that Marianne and her both have the sarcastic sense of humor.
Yeah, I have a self-deprecating sort of sense of humor too. I'll do anything for a laugh for an audience. So it doesn't. I have no shame whatsoever with that.
Jason is thoroughly enjoying this.
I'm sure he is. This is the only fun BA show on the air, folks.
This is just it, People think we're, stuffy and no fun to be around, but we are. When you click with the right kind of people.
Had a beverage.
No, we have. I'm lucky I came in here and was able to get the system fired up in time.
I'd be doing stand-up right now, so we have to just stop that. Whose turn was it now? See,
it's my turn this time. So my next one is if you are a fast learner. So again, this might be something that people have told you or of yourself. Like when you're put in front of new software or a new device or anything, and you decide that you are going to learn it, and you realize that you're able to jump in and figure it out faster than other people do. If you are not a BA, please go think about becoming one, because that is key. A lot of times we're brought into projects, and this will ring a bell with Mayor. You're brought into projects that hadn't been documented at all, even though people have been using them for quite some time. So being able to get your hands-on with it, dive into the data dictionary, get in and read the code, learn a little SQL to go and pull out some stuff. These are all... I chose that for a reason. I knew that it would get a reaction. But just because you haven't done something before, if that doesn't keep you from giving it a try and learning it quickly, that's a very handy tool to have if you're going to become a BA, because it's not possible to know everything and have used every system, especially when you're brought in on a project that is all proprietary systems. So, you don't have 2 years to learn how to do it, because the project's due in 6 weeks. So being a fast learner is super important, is a superpower in my, maybe, okay, well, I was going to say you should get a cape, but you shouldn't, because if you've seen The Incredibles, you don't get a cape because you're a superhero. But if that is your superpower, that is definitely the way to go.
Yeah, so that's fun. That's fun. Sequel, yeah. As a matter of fact, years ago I programmed. When I say years ago, I programmed years ago when assembler and COBOL. So I think COBOL was logical, if then else kind of thing, So I'm on a project now where I'm documenting something that's not documented, and I'm going into the software, and it's SQL software. They're using SQL. And I'm trying to follow some of that. It took me a little bit of a while, had to go online, had to look up some references, what they meant exactly. But I'm slogging through it. So if I can do it, you can do it too. And you don't need a programming background. Honestly, some of them, you just need to be able to get out there on the internet and say, what does that mean? And that goes back to that self-reliant type of thing. But, a quick learner absolutely helps. I'm not a learner, but once it's in there, it's like in there for like a steel trap. So,
but she says she's not a fast learner, but she is, because that's the thing. Not everybody can do it. Some people can't do it without the 6-week course. But if you can take what you've previously learned and apply that to whatever that is in front of you that you've never seen before, and then quickly get to the point where you get deep enough to understand what's going on, you're a fast learner, and that is huge. I mean, how much more I know it's not been fun doing the whole SQL thing there, but if you were not able to take what you've learned and apply it, you'd be dead in the water right now. Because nobody's going to sit there and do it for you. There's nobody who's going to take care of it for you. You're the one that's got to figure it out.
This is true. I mean, I feel like I'm a slower learner. I may not be. Like you say, you see something different. See, everybody sees something different. So if you feel like you're a slow learner out there, you may just be like me, and you're not. You just feel like he knows more than you do. So you maybe get a little, little nutty, So, but you might just be a fast learner. I don't know. Right along with that fast learner, I think it's important to be a well-rounded type of personality, a well-rounded learner. So things that you may, like we make references to movies and TV shows. I talk to developers all the time, and they can there, for some odd reason, lines of comedy movies, they can just rattle them off like crazy. So you never know when something might be useful. You know, anything you do, if you read about archaeology, if you like that, or if you like art or working on cars, all of that stuff is transferable, believe it or not. It's you know, it's a way you learn, so that well-roundedness comes in handy. Pigeonholing yourself into one type of thing, you know, it's great to be a specialist, but quite frankly, business analysts seem to be more, if you ever ask them, they're like, well, we're a jack of all trades. We do a little project management, we do a little business analysis, we do a little bit of data, we do a little bit of the design of the solution or the system or the application. So having that well-rounded scope in life in general, I think, is really great and definitely transferable to business analysis.
Oh, completely.
And I don't mean well-rounded in the size of my ass. I've been sitting all these years.
Now, see, right? She yelled at me before. There she goes.
Self-deprecating humor.
Well, but I mean, that's also another layer to the communication thing, because by knowing that your development team, you know, have a thing about Monty Python movies, just as an example, and you knowing enough about Monty Python, and particularly the movies, to be able to recognize the one-liners and throw a few back, that's opening a channel of communication with them, which then will make the rest of the communication about the project go easier, especially when things get a little stressful and you can start pulling out some of the more bawdy Monty Python references, assuming it's okay for the group that you're in. But that is not only, you know, a part of being well-rounded, but also kind of piggybacks on the communication thing.
There's it on the telly. Oh my God, Monty Python. You know, it brings. Well, Monty Python was on back in the day. Mm-hmm. I actually had a T-shirt, a black T-shirt with white lettering, Monty Python's Flying Circus, and had the time and the day and everything that it was on. And I was walking down the street, and someone actually tried to buy that shirt right off of me. So. And it came in very handy years later talking to developers. That was true. Oh,
absolutely. Oh. So, okay, so I'll read it because this one's a little hard to read. But Amy says that she's on a project now where she's editing over 1,200 in-app messages and creating guidelines for the dev team. Sound familiar? that's sort of
sure does.
Amy, what Marianne is doing. And you guys, again, you're scaring me because, you know, parallel lives here. Oh, see, and Jason's a Monty Python fan. I did not know that about you, Jason. That is so cool. See? Are you Monty Python, the show, the movies, or the whole ball of wax? I love it. I've got the books. I've read all the scripts. I love Python. Never gets old. And it does come in handy.
The Life of Brian, the guy with the coconuts. Oh my God. That and the meaning of life. The meaning of life is...
Wow. Yes. Oh, it's so funny when something pops into my head. I can't even reference that one on the show, but yes.
No, you can't reference a lot of stuff. But it's fantastic.
You know, if I meet somebody new and find out either that they're a Python fan or, and here's a really obscure reference for folks, if I find out that they're Misty, if they know what MST3K is, I know we are going to be friends for life. Because if you can get into that,
for the nice folks what it is, because I'm a big fan myself.
It is Mystery Science Theater 3000. Here, I have a prop.
She has a visual.
Right, because they did the Kickstarter for the reboot, which I have been thoroughly enjoying. And oh, by the way, we got another season coming on Netflix. But yes,
if you have never seen that show, they basically take B movies. It's all these B movies, black and whites, and there's these little. Well, Kathleen can explain. We don't have to go into detail, but they literally make comments of the bad editing and and they throw in one-liners throughout the movie. It's like sitting in the audience, and the audience saying all these silly things about them. It's hysterical.
But it's hysterical. You know, they're an intelligent bunch of people, and they don't play down their jokes for the lowest common denominator, because basically their goal is to make each other crack up, because they figure if they can make each other crack up, they're going to make other people laugh. And there are, well, I think they were 10 years of episodes, and then they took a little hiatus, and now they're back. And it's, if you like to laugh and you like movies, particularly bad movies, you have to go check it out. And you can thank us later. Hearts, thank yous, recommend us to other people. However you want to thank us, we're open.
from a strange topic once again, but here we go. Okay.
All right, so we're getting kind of late in the show here. Should we maybe do 2 quick ones each, and then do you have 2 more?
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, more than
Go
2.
ahead. No, I'm fine. No, it's. Let's not get crazy here. Whose turn was it? My turn or your turn?
I think it's my turn this time. Let me see here. Okay, because I've got quite a list here, but I'm going to take the 2. 2? Yes, I can do. I'll combine a couple. Okay. So my next one would be.
The fans have found your phone number and want to talk about Mystery Science Theater.
Oh my goodness. Sorry. I'm wrecking the joint here, right?
I think she does.
I can't believe how many of these shows have we done, and the stupid phones have never rung, and tonight both of them are ringing, and now I wrecked the desk. Okay.
It's the marketing. The marketers are out at it. Go ahead.
That must be it. Oh God, see, Jason says we're hilarious.
Oh, thank you.
This is our life. Yes, we do try to enjoy it, because what are you going to do, right? The phone rang, I just got to roll with it. Now I was just about to say there's no more phones to ring, but now I have to double check and make sure I've got my silly cell phone turned off. Okay, I do.
Here's the doorbell. No more phones. Here comes the doorbell.
Well, the dog. I mean, the dog keeps barking. I can't turn him off. There's no battery pack I can pull out. All right. Anyway, so getting back to it. Okay, so I would say that being able to take ownership and responsibility of a project, or you're part of the project, and to not fear failure or take failure personally is a big part of it. I'm combining a couple here because they're related. Sooner or later, somebody has to be willing to stand up and say, okay, I am going to make sure that this part of this happens, or this project happens, or whatever, or it's a piece of it. And if we're all human, sooner or later you're gonna make a mistake. But if you are the type of person that can own up to it and say, yeah, absolutely, that was me, I completely missed this, or I misunderstood something, I apologize, I'm going to double down and I'm going to go in and get this fixed, that's somebody I want to work with. Because it's not about being perfect all the time. It's about doing the very best you can and, regrouping quickly when something goes off the track. Okay, I'll throw that to you. Everything is falling apart here.
Earthquake. Just blame it on an earthquake.
That's it. That'll work.
Yeah, I agree. If you take responsibility and if you screw up, just admit that you screwed up. Don't try to blame anybody else. Everybody will try to pass the buck. Everybody's going to try to blame everybody else. Yep. But don't do it, because the minute you do it, you give license to everybody doing it. If you say I made a mistake, then people won't feel like, oh my God, I made a mistake. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? It's okay to make mistakes. Mistakes are part of learning, part of life. You are going to make mistakes. Nobody's perfect, even though you think you are. Perfectionists sometimes don't do so well as business analysts because they can't get out of their own way, because they're going to stay focused on one little thing until it's right. And you can't really do that. It's never going to be right. It's always going to change. It's always going to evolve. And that's the way it should be. So I absolutely agree. Sort of take control, where you can, and admit when you're wrong.
Yeah.
And
hey, we've got people agreeing with us. So Amy says take ownership and fess up quickly, which is absolutely it. And Jason has finally stepped up, and so I have to get this up here. Jason's no longer lurking. He participated. Thank you, Jason. He says, own the moment.
And that's
absolutely it. That belongs on bumper stickers and T-shirts everywhere, because that makes all the difference.
There's your new side business, Jason.
That's the person I want to work with.
That's right.
So thank you, Jason.
And own it. Own that moment. You're absolutely right. And Excellent. If you can't own that moment, persuade them that it was there. Like kidding. But being persuasive is my next one, or my last one, I should say. Being able to persuade people in a way that's not threatening to them. People get threatened right away when they feel that you're not listening to them, you're not taking them seriously. You are, but if you want a solution that is a happy medium for everybody, you literally have to persuade some people that's the way to go. And sometimes the way to do that is and we've talked about this before, is the ability to make them see that it was their idea all along. And a lot of times it is. I mean, you're getting little nuggets and little grains of things from people. Some you can use, some you can't use. But what you can use, you literally need to remember what they said so you can say it back to them. Because that's when people know you're listening. When you literally repeat something they have said or they have expressed. You don't have to be word for word. That's not what I mean. But being able to do that is a persuasive tool, and being able to negotiate and get sign off on requirements and things. And it's really, it is sort of, a lot of people are better at it, but that is sort of one of those soft skills that you can learn. You absolutely can learn with practice. That's what I have to say on that. Have I persuaded you? I think maybe.
Unfortunately, that was really good, but unfortunately your audio kept dropping out. Hopefully it came through well enough.
Oh, really?
I don't know what's going on. Are you using your Yeti tonight?
I am.
Okay, I don't know what's going on. We'll have to figure that out this week. Okay, but I think it came through all right. It just got a little staticky a couple of times on my end, so hopefully it's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, Jason and Amy, if you let us know, hopefully that came through okay, because that would be a shame, because that was really good.
I'm talking, I have a deep voice, so I'm talking pretty loudly, so nothing's blinking on my side. I don't know if it's blinking on your side. But.
No, I mean, your volumes are good. It's just it's been like cutting out and getting a little staticky. That's why I was asking if you're using the Yeti, because I thought maybe it was the headphones that you were wearing. But if you're not using that, then...
Nope.
Okay. Okay, so Amy says that the audio came through good for her. Okay, great. Thanks so much, Amy. Appreciate that. All right, so my last one. Let me see.
You can add losing your hearing to the list. You're losing your hearing, though.
Why not, right? I mean, geez.
I know.
Okay, so let me see. Okay, so the last one I'm going to throw up here is the ability to accept change, to deal with chaos, to learn new things while, what was it? I missed it. Oh, maybe that was it. Yeah, so okay, so that was, so again, I kind of see these as kind of fitting together. Accepting change, dealing with chaos, and being willing to try new things. Those, for me, are key to getting back to the problem-solving thing. If you want to keep doing things the same way they've always been done, because this is how we've always done it, and if we change it, we might get in trouble, you're going to have a problem. Your projects are not going to be successful, because the only way to improve things is to change them. And if you're not willing to take that risk, if you're not willing to help people see the value in taking that risk, if you get overwhelmed by what seems like chaos to start out with, these are things that are going to work against you. But if you can embrace these things, if you can work with them, if you can push through and find the solution that's buried underneath all of that, there you're going to go. They're going to be a great success right there.
Yeah, go out there, do something that scares you. You know, if it scares you, if you're afraid of failure, go out there and do something where you're going to fail. So you can get used to it and you can see like it's not the end of the world, you know?
Right.
This is life, but you know, it's a job, okay? It's your job, it's a career, but it's not, unless you're dealing where you're working on medical equipment that might kill somebody. I mean, no one's going to die, hopefully. No one's going to kill you. So try something new. You know, go out there. You know, try paddle boarding. And if you see that shark swimming up next to you, don't panic. just stand still, you know what I mean? But,
it just makes you look more tasty anyway.
That's right. The more you fail, the more you get used to it and how you handle it. You know, we can't control a lot of the stuff that happens. We can't control really very little in our lives. The only thing we can control is how we react to it. And that's my big mantra, you know, it's just a lot of the stuff is in our heads, you know, oh my God, what are they going to think? What are they going to think? Most people don't even think about you, quite frankly. They're thinking about themselves. So just go out there and do it. Have fun.
And sometimes it's that off-the-wall thought that becomes the perfect solution. Even if it in and of itself is not the complete solution, it might be the thing that gets you to that solution. That's why, you know, we talk a lot about doing brainstorming sessions, you know, where the wackier the idea, the better. Nobody gets to say that it's dumb or stupid or laugh at you. Everything gets put out there, because very often that's where the success is found. You know, doing the same thing over and over. What did it say? The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. There you go. That's a lot of companies. We've always done it this way, so we're going to change, but we're not going to change. It's like, okay, then nothing's going to change. You do get that, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Not
well,
a lot
hopefully
of them do get that.
No, they don't, and it's a shame, because A, it's more fun, and, you know, B, that's how you get to that next great big thing. I mean, nobody thought that these things were going to exist until somebody had the courage to go and give it a try and say, hey, let's try this and make it work. Granted, when they started, they were this big and had a huge antenna on them.
I crush your head. I crush your head. No. Did you ever see that little thing? I crush your head. Anyway.
Yeah, that's
You never saw that? Yeah, I can't get up there high enough for that.
It's Kids in the Hall. But I can't get to your head. I can only we can only crush our own heads, which is kind of counterproductive. Yeah. Kids in the Hall, another great one. If you know Kids in the Hall, we can hang out and be buddies.
That's right. Do we have any questions? Do we have any other questions out there before we wrap it up? We've had a blast tonight.
We have been having fun. So Amy says having an open mind is so helpful in work and in life. I totally agree. Let me just do the quick search here. I think most of it has just been comments. Let's just double check. Yes, we look like we are doing good. You folks on Periscope, I see that you've been chatting. Hopefully that there were no questions that I missed. I am using the tool, but it's, you know, we haven't found the perfect solution for Periscope yet. We keep trying. I keep an eye on it. But if you did have a question, comment, what have you, and I missed it, please, first of all, accept my apologies. And second of all, feel free to reach out and let us know, and we will get back to you with an answer or guidance or just a big thank you for participating in whatever method you can join us in.
Yeah, and don't forget to join us here every Tuesday night at 8 o'clock. We live to entertain. We live to help and help you in small ways, you know, and we try to do things that a lot of people might not be covering in a different type of way, things that you would need immediately, and,
right,
you know, not so dry and everything. So we thank you for stopping by. Do we have any other business to conclude before we head out? Or?
No, I think we are good to go for now. So we ran a little long, but hopefully it was worth it. We entertained you. If nothing else, you had fun watching me scramble, going after the phones and things falling over and the dog barking. You never know what you're going to say. You know that this is really a live show.
That's right. What else could go
because
wrong? Who knows?
Everything happens sooner or later.
All right, everybody. Thanks for joining, stopping by. See you next Tuesday. Take care, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
And I didn't record it, so I'm going to have to pull it down. All right.